Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel that is Nursing Tricks. I hope you people have already seen my last video in which we have covered till types of research, and also I have covered on the basis of approaches. We have divided our research into three different parts, that is mixed method, qualitative and quantitative, and we have already seen these three types of research in my last video. So today I will be taking this video will be basically on based on purpose, and we have divided this research based on purpose, and this is of two type, that is basic research and applied research. I request you all to please view this video till end, and those who have not subscribed my channel, I request them to please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get the notification. And today I will be covering this research introduction chapter as a whole. So today we will be completing this chapter. So I am starting with the types of research based on purpose. So we have already seen this chart. Yes, I think you can follow. We have seen the mixed method and the qualitative and quantitative. Now based on approach, yesterday we have already seen, that is quantitative research, what is quantitative research, what is qualitative research, and what is mixed method approach, along with the examples. So friends, today I am starting with the based on purpose. So we have already seen in the chart, on based on purpose we have divided our research into two, that is the basic research and the applied research. Now what is the basic research? So the word itself is telling you the basic, or you can call it as a fundamental. Either of these two words you can find into your question paper. So basic or fundamental research, why we are performing this type of research? Now what is the purpose behind why we want to conduct this basic research? So basic research, it is performed without a specific purpose in mind. So when you don't have a specific purpose into your mind, that time when you are conducting or you are starting any type of research, you are calling it as a basic research. I hope it is clear. Friends, I am requesting you again and again in my all videos, if you have any doubt at any point of time, do comment. I am always here, and in my next video definitely I am promising I will make sure that whatever doubt you have, your doubt should be cleared. Okay, so I am moving forward. So basic research, it is performed without a specific purpose in mind, and the primary concern of the researcher is whenever the researcher is wanting to generate a new knowledge without a specific purpose, and whenever he or she wants to generate a new knowledge, this type of research is known as a basic research. And also, when you want to generate or when you want to expand the already existing theories, okay, so that type of research is also known as the basic research. And in other words, it is a formal and systematic process leading to the development of the various theories. So why we are calling it as a development of theories? Because we are describing, we are expanding, we are generating the theories. That is why if you will find that which of the following type of research, I am repeating the question, it can be like, which of the following type of research helps in the development of theories, or it can be like this, which of the following type of research helps in describing, explaining or predicting a phenomena of interest. So the answer will go to the basic research. I hope it is clear. So now the main aim, the aim for carrying out the basic research is here, you can see in the screen. It is To gather information, you can say to gather or to generate the information. So we are done with here. So gather or generate the information. Whenever you want to generate any information and whenever you want to expand, so this word please keep into your mind. Whenever you want to expand the body of knowledge, or you want to describe or explain or predict a phenomenon of interest, that type of research is known as a basic research. And next is whenever you want to develop or refine the theories and principles. Okay, so development, refinement of theories as well as principles comes in the basic research. Now let's take an example. Please listen the example carefully. So the example says, a researcher carries out a study on, so the study is like this: effect of participatory culture in an organization on work performance of employees. So if the employees are using, if we are using in particular organization the participatory culture means the participation of each and every employee working in that particular organization. If we are accepting their participation, what will be the effect on their work performance? Definitely, so you can see, if you will allow the participation of all the employees in your organization, all have a different mind, all have a different IQ, so definitely what the perspective can be different. From my perspective, I think if you will allow the participation, definitely their work performance will be, it will increase. Okay, so this is the basic research. Okay, so here the researcher, what is researcher doing here? So researcher observes the workers performance that has improved in those organization only which has the participatory culture. So thus a researcher gives a basic theory. So the basic, what is the basic theory here which a researcher get out of this is, as a result is, that workers participation in management increases their performance. So you know, if the workers they are participating in a particular organization, the management performance will be increased in that particular organization. I hope friends this is clear. If you will ask me to repeat this topic again, I welcome your thought, but it's very necessary to view this video till end, then only you will be able to understand the examples. Okay, now next is the, so I am moving forward. So next is the applied research. So we have already seen based on purpose divided into basic and applied research. So now applied research, applied. So this applied word has come from apply, whenever we are applying something. So the term applied research refers to those studies. So these are those type of studies that have a number one. In double bracket you can see two words. So in double bracket you can see two words, that is the functional and the practical. So applied word means that whenever your whatever result you are generating, it should have some functional purpose and it should be practical. So two words, functional and practical. Okay, so applied research is this. So the main focus, the focus of this applied research is on finding an immediate solution to an existing problem. Now you can say, now currently our existing problem is corona, COVID-19. So the all researchers are behind this, they want to find the solution of this corona or COVID-19. So this type of research is applied research. Whenever your focus is on finding an immediate solution to an existing problem, This type of research, students, is known as the applied research. I hope it is clear. Now next is 4 points we have to remember. What is the aim? As we have seen, the aim of basic research was gather, generating, expanding, developing, refining. So these type of words we have seen in the basic research, but in applied research the main aim is the first one point: solve the problems, that problems which needs immediate solutions, make decisions, and evaluating something of interest. Number fourth is develop something new for immediate use. So you can see here the difference. The difference is in basic research, again you were developing something, you were refining, but those were the theories and principles, and that were you are not using those theories and principle in a as a immediate purpose. They were not functional, they were not practical in use, they were not in practical use. Okay, so solving problems, making decisions, evaluating something of interest, developing something new for immediate use. So this type of research is known as the applied research. Now friends, the question can be like this. So they can just form a stem out of the aim, like which type of research is used to develop something new for immediate use, and that should be of practical use or practical application. Or the question can be which type of research focuses on finding an immediate solution to an existing problem. This will be the stem. In 4 option you will find the options like basic research, applied research, quantitative, qualitative. Your answer should go to the applied research. I hope you are following. So we have seen the aim, in which we have seen solving problem, making decision, evaluate something of interest, and develop something new for immediate use. These 4 are the aim of applied research. Now let's take an example which will clear all our doubts. As we have already seen in the basic research the example which have cleared our all doubts. So in applied research the example is, so researcher has planned to conduct a study to assess the effectiveness of 2 different techniques. Okay, so now researcher had selected the 2 different techniques, and that techniques he or she wants to apply to the pin site care of the for the prevention of the pin site infection. Now you have seen the patients, those who have any fracture or something, they are undergoing a small surgery to fix that particular bone is the pin site. They are just putting a pin and then traction they are giving. So to prevent the, and very commonly we have seen that those patients who are undergoing this type of surgery, they are landing up into the pin site infection. So here researcher wants to use 2 techniques so that they can choose one out of them and which can prevent the pin site infection. I hope you are clear with what exactly researcher has planned to conduct. Now here you can say the researcher is interested in solving a current problem because he or she has seen in her ward that so many patients who are undergoing this type of surgery, they are ultimately landing up into the infection. So this problem is the current issue for that particular individual. Okay, so that particular individual as a researcher will select 2 techniques of pin site care. So here the interest is he want to solve a current problem of pin site infection among the patients with the external skeletal fixation. So here when that particular researcher is solving the current problem of pin site infection by choosing a particular research or by selecting out of 2 different techniques. So this type of research is known as the applied research. I hope basic research and applied research along with the examples, friends, it is clear. So any doubts, I welcome your doubt again and again. I am repeating this word. Okay, so please do comment and please do watch this video till end, because today I am going to complete this topic, that is introduction. Okay, now moving on to my next slide. Now, what all are the scope and areas of nursing research? It is very easy, and we all knows that what all areas do we have. So we know there are so many areas like clinical nursing practices we have, nursing education we have, nursing administration we have, and health system and outcome of care we have. So we know that it is four areas, and the scope is also there in this four areas only. So one by one we will see. So first one is the research in the clinical nursing practice. So clinical nursing practice, number one. So here it may range from the examining like nursing interventions. So clinical nursing practices includes the nursing interventions and experiences for the what all things? Health promotion, illness prevention, and care for individuals, families, and communities in the diverse settings. Okay, so the scope, if you will see in this area, that is the clinical nursing practice. So it is like examining nursing interventions, experiences for health promotion, illness prevention, and care for individuals, families, and communities in the diverse settings. Okay, so this is the scope in the clinical nursing practices. I hope it is clear. And some of the common areas we have to discuss, which is very important. What all are the common areas in clinical nursing practices? So the common areas can be health promotion, health maintenance, disease prevention. Okay, patient safety comes under this, and then quality of health care, promotion and risk reduction interventions, patient centered care, and it is also promotion of the health and well-being of the geriatric population, palliative care, and development of evidence-based practices and care implications, and nurses working their working environment, home care, their community health nursing prayer practices, treatment compliance, so whether they are following up or not. Okay, description of holistic nursing situation. So holistic is when you are taking into consideration their all aspects like social, cultural, religious, traditional, family, and all. Okay, so this is all about the scope in the clinical nursing practices. Now coming on to the scope in the nursing education. So we have lots of scope in the nursing education as well. So what all are the why we want this research in nursing education? So the main aim, we should have some main aim. So the main aim of nursing education is to continuously provide skilled nursing manpower to country, which is very important. All the professions, as you can see nowadays, they are growing up. So we want our profession also to have some skilled nursing manpower for the country's development. Okay, now let's see the common areas in this nursing education also. So the common areas are testing the, so if you are testing the effectivity, efficacy of the old teaching methods, and if you will generate the newer effective teaching techniques, so this is the scope in nursing education. If you are just choosing the curriculum taught and the learning experiences of the nursing students at UG and PG level, so this will also be coming under this. So enhancing the psychometric domain of learning among the nursing students in the clinical practices, so this also comes under the this. And identifying and managing the problems of the absenteeism, which is very common. Okay, so this also comes in the research in nursing education. So I am just touching these areas. So scope in clinical nursing practices, aim I have already told you. Aim of conducting the research in nursing education I have told you. Now I am moving on to the research in the nursing administration. So why is it important to conduct? You know, the administration, it is the domain that need continuous investigation. Okay, why? As we have already seen, the administration can be good only because timely if we are upgrading our admin block. Okay, so the what all are the areas that require investigations, or common areas or common examples you can say that require the investigations in this area are, can be like assessing the existing organization structure, what is the span of control, their communication, their staffing pattern, their wages, their benefits, their performance evaluation, and developing and testing the different administrative models. Okay, like we know the swift administration and customer satisfaction, the recruitment, how the process of recruitment in particular institute, deployment, retention, effective use of nursing personnel, and furthermore research can be conducted on any phenomenon that can be related to the, or that is related to the nursing administration, administrative issues. So these things, these aims which I have already told you, assessing and then developing and testing the different various models we have seen, recruitment, deployment, all these things comes under the research in the nursing administration. Now next is in the health systems and outcomes of care. So this area, you know, the outcome of care and the health system is one of the important areas of nursing research, where we can identify the success of the presently existing healthcare delivery system and the models in the country. And it is also the way to identify and way to develop affordable quality of health of care to the individual, which is very important nowadays. Our health system has everything, is having everything, but the thing is it is not affordable to, or the quality is not that which is affordable to everyone. Okay, so the common examples that require investigation in this area can be developing various models of healthcare, affordable, they should be affordable, they should be accessible to the people located in that particular remote areas, we know. And also that particular thing or that particular system should also be cost effective. Okay, and effective use of the information and IEC, information, education and communication, or technology we can say. So these all we have seen, students, in the scope of the nursing, or scope and areas of the nursing research. I hope we have seen this scope in 4 areas: in clinical nursing practices, in nursing education, in nursing administration, in health system and outcome of care. Now next I will be dealing with the this. So clinical nursing practices we have seen, friends. Examining nursing intervention, we have seen common areas, I have already told you. Research in nursing education, you can go through these slides, but I have already explained you the main aim, their common areas. And then we have seen research in nursing administration. So main thing I have written in these slides, you can go through. Common areas that require investigations are recruitment, deployment, retention, organizational structure, staffing pattern, and research in health system and outcomes of care. So we have also seen this, the common areas, their common examples which require investigation. Now very important problems in nursing, health and social research. So what all are the various problems that the nursing researcher can face, or the health researcher or the social researchers are facing? So this now we will deal. So first one here you can see is the fallibility of the disciplined research. Now what is this fallibility of disciplined research? So you know, disciplined research everyone can just recognize if it is there in the your one of the your if it is there as one of the option in your question paper. But what is the meaning of this fallibility? It is that we know that every research question, it can be solved by the different approaches. So it can depend on the several factors. So now it is always confusing, friends, to decide the best approach. I am again repeating. So whenever you are confused in selecting the best approach, or you are confused in deciding the best approach for solving a research question, it is the fallibility of the disciplined research. So confusion in selecting the approach, it is fallibility of disciplined research. Next is the handling multiple variables. So what is handling multiple variables? So you know, friends, in my next chapter definitely this variable word will come, and I will define it very clearly. Okay, so here I will just tell you variable is something which is keep on changing. Okay, the values changes. So you know, the most of the research studies in our field, or in the field of nursing and health social sciences, they focus on the measurement of multiple variables. Now multiple variables like BP, okay, or you can say the partial pressure of oxygen. So all these things which are changing, the parameters can change, BP can change if you are giving one or the other interventions. So these multiple variables when you are handling, so friends, it is very difficult to handle so many variables at a same time. So this is also a problem in the nursing, health and social research. Okay, next is the difficulty in controlling the external variables. I have already told in the previous slide that what are the external variables. Like if you want to see the change in weight after 1 month, if you are just controlling the diet of an individual, friends, if you are not controlling any other thing like their daily routine, their activity of daily living, if you are not controlling, or if you are not keeping your eye on these external factors, definitely your result will be wrong. Okay, so it is very difficult to control the external variables. Next is the minimal possibility of the laboratory research. So you know, the research in the nursing, health and the social sciences usually deals with the phenomena that are related to the humans, and where you need the ethical as well as the practical. So it is very difficult to conduct these type of researches in the laboratory. So this is also the problem, minimal possibility of laboratory research. Next is the lack of standardized tool. Friends, this is a very important problem that we all are facing. So we don't have the standardized tool nowadays. Research in the nursing, health and social sciences, they are dealing with the natural phenomena. So where valid and reliable standardized tools are needed to generate the empirical evidences. Okay, so we are lacking this also, and we are also measuring qualitative phenomena through quantitative means. Why we are doing this? Because the knowledge of qualitative research is very less in our profession. So most of the researchers, they are just measuring even the qualitative things into a quantitative things, which are just giving the false results, and which are not generalized to the overall population. And lack of interest among researchers, because everyone wants very stable life. They don't want to see any change in their life, so they are happy with what they are doing. Every morning they are coming, afternoon they are going, and again evening, night they are doing. So they don't want any change in their life. So it is very important problem, that is lack of interest among researchers. And yes, we have lots of ethical constraints, because when we are conducting the research on human beings, so where we have to safeguard their rights, which become an important issue if you will not do that. So here you can see we are also facing this problem. And lack of the qualitative research expertise, as we have already seen in this point. So measuring qualitative phenomena through the quantitative means, so this is the problem we all are facing. So here we have seen some of the problems in nursing, health and social research. Now I hope this is clear. Now next is evidence based practice. So now this concept is very important. I request you all, if you are not understanding, please repeatedly view this video. If still you are not clear with any topic, do comment. I will explain it again. Now, what is this evidence based practice? Here you can see the evidence based practice is, there are so many definitions to it. One definition I am just explaining you. So evidence based practice in nursing, it is a process of locating, appraising and applying the best evidence from the nursing and medical literature to improve the quality of clinical nursing practice. So this is the definition of evidence based practice. So evidence based practice is something, friends, when you are conducting a research, so that you can choose the best evidence from the various results of nursing and medical literature to improve the quality of your clinical nursing practice. So this type of practice when you are doing, it is known as the evidence based practice. Okay, that is EBP. Now let's come on to the steps for process of evidence based practice. So the process of evidence based practice, so it involves 5 steps. So I will tell you these 5 steps. So the 5 step is: number 1, formulating a clear question based on the clinical problem. As we have seen in the problem solving process, the first step should always be, you should have a clear question that should be based on the clinical problem, and make sure your question should be, or the source for formulating a question should be problem based source, or it can be knowledge based source. I am repeating, it is problem based and knowledge based. It is problem based and it is knowledge based. Okay, now next is the literature review to search the best available evidence. Now best available evidence is, so the second step is saying the literature review for evidence based practice must start with the theoretical and clinical articles. Okay, then you should move on to the various high level of evidences for review, such as meta-analysis, system review or randomized control trials. These all words will come in the next chapters, so don't think that what I am speaking, so just you can write these words somewhere, and definitely in the next chapters, if these words are not getting clear to you, you can ask me again. Okay, so make sure that your literature review should not be very, you should make sure the time constraints, the time management is another factor in this literature review, so that you can find the best available evidence. Next is the analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of the evidences. Now how you will analyze the strength and weakness of the evidences here? So we have various this charts. That charts I will I am just mentioning the names, you can go through it if you will Google it. Like we have various rating scales like Guet and Rainey, which they have given in 2002, Harris et al 2001. So you can go through these charts, which will help you in analyzing the strength and weaknesses, whether the evidence or the result the one has developed, it has what all strengths that particular thing has have, and what all weaknesses they have. Now next is the use of best evidence. So now you have already seen the various strength and weaknesses of the evidences. Now you will choose the best evidence out of all the evidences. So this is the implementing and useful findings in clinical practices based on the valid evidences, and evidences is used alongside clinical expertise and the patient's perspective to plan the care. Now next is the evaluating the efficacy of empirical evidences. So when you are evaluating the performance of evidences through the process of self-reflection, audit you can conduct, or the peer assessment you can do. So this was the final step This is the final step in the evidence based practice. So we have seen the 5 steps. Don't worry, these 5 steps will be again repeated. Some of the steps are common when we will study the steps of qualitative study and the steps of quantitative study. So these are the steps of evidence based practice. First is clear question based on problem based and the knowledge based, literature review, analysis of strength and weaknesses, use of best evidences in clinical practices, and evaluating the efficacy and safety or of the empirical evidences that you have generated. Moving on to the next slide. Now, so this is the formulating a clear question based on clinical problem. So even if you want, you can go through these slides. Source I have already written you, problem based source and knowledge based source. Examples I have also written, like increased incidence of pressure zone in the critical care unit. So this is the problem based source. You can take this up as your question. Now next is your new evidences on nursing care interventions. Also you can take this. If you are taking this is a knowledge based. Now clinical question for EBP, the following should include, that is PICO. Don't worry, this will also come in your quantitative study. P stands for the patient and population. I will write down and I will explain you this. Don't worry, this is just an introduction. So it should include PICO, patient, the potential intervention, control group and outcome. Then literature review should go like this. You have to review the literature and theoretically you should go. Then you should go to well-known existing EBP guidelines. They should include the high level of evidences for review, time management it should include, and then you should evaluate and analyze the strength and weaknesses. Already I have told you so many scales are available. I've already explained, or I have already mentioned the name of the various scales. You can Google. And last step is the implementing useful findings in clinical practice based on the valid evidences. And this is evaluating efficacy, performance of evidences by what all things I have told you: self-reflection, audit, or the peer assessment. Now last topic for today is purposes. Now why we are conducting this evidence based practice? So it is an approach that tries to specify the way in which professional or other decision makers should make decision. Once you are just taking one good evidence from the various results, so it gives the decision makers the way they should make their decision. It is an approach that specify the way in which the professional or someone else should take decision. Okay, and it also eliminates the unsound practices. So all the unsound practices, once you are choosing the good clinical practices, so they will be automatically eliminated. Then it contributes toward the better patient outcome, which is our ultimate aim of the nurses, and it provides the highest quality to the nursing practices. And the barriers we have seen, so many barriers. So lack of professional ability. So I have already told you, everyone wants very stability. They don't want to become that dynamic. Okay, so lack of professional ability, lack of time, workload pressure. You know, the nurses is to patient load is what in our country. So you can see the pressure, the workload on them. So the knowledge is lacking somewhere of research methods, because everyone is just behind medical, surgical and all other subjects. So they are just ignoring this research topic. But friends, it is very interesting. Once you will come into this, then you will realize where we stand. Okay, lack of support from the professional colleagues. Okay, if you are interested, maybe your other colleague is not interested, again you are just landing up into the same situation. Change is resistance. I have already told you, the change is always resistance. Nobody wants to get themselves, just they don't want any change in their daily routine. Lack of continuing education program in India, we know, and lack of administrative support also. So now some of the multiple choice questions I have formulated for you, friends. So here, first question for related to this is you can see on the screen, but I am not just explaining, or I am not showing this multiple choice questions to you right now. I will take one more class in my next video, where I will take up the questions related to the this nursing research introduction. And there I will come live. I will try my level best to come live, and I want you people to join me live, where you can just give answers. If I will not be able to come live, you can just give me the answers in your comments. Okay, I hope this chapter is clear to you. Just as a revision, I want to tell you that we have what all topics we have covered in this chapter, which is the nursing research introduction. So barriers in evidence based practice we have seen purposes, we have seen the various steps of evidence based practices, we have seen the what all problems nursing health and social researchers are facing, and what all are the areas where the nursing research can be done. And we have seen the types of researches. Just on top we have seen, we have not gone into that much detail. And we have seen characteristics and introduction to the word research, scientific methods, problem solving, methods of acquiring knowledge, and also the word researcher has come from. So this completes my topic, first topic, introduction to the nursing research. Friends, please view this video till end, and this chapter completes your so many questions that we all are expecting to come into your exams. This way I promise you that I will complete all the chapters, but make sure that I am punctual, because I am uploading my videos daily, and I am trying my level best to explain you. Still, I am always ready to accept your comments, and you should also be punctual, dear friends. Okay, if you are facing any problem like my language problem, my examples if you are not getting, or if you want me to do something else, please do let me know. Okay, what all technology I have right now, I am using that to make sure that your this chapters or this particular subject is completed. I am trying my level best. As soon as I will be there with the more things, definitely I will use those things, and I will make sure that I will make my videos with that things. Okay, and please make sure my next video, I am just announcing right now, next video I will upload on the so many students, they are asking me to upload video on military nursing services. What is the syllabus, what we have to study, what is the salary, what all procedures you have to go through if you want to just get into the military nursing services, and what is the working environment there, and whether you should go or not go, that's up to you only. Just I will tell you my perspective. Okay friends, so I hope you will like this video, and just wait for my next video. I will upload it soon. That will be very helpful for you. This way, after the end of every topic, every one chapter, I will upload this type of informational video for you. Please make sure to subscribe my channel, and please share this link to all your friends, so that they can also take benefit out of you. Thank you so much.